Hey, it is leg day here at Miranda's Wellness, but it's not the kind of leg day that you would usually avoid, I promise. Today on the Happy Healthy Pregnancy series, I wanted to talk to you about a few different things that all just happen to relate to / affect the legs. Now you can probably hear Ziggy eating his food in the background. Sorry about that. So the three things that I want to talk about are leg cramps, restless legs, and water retention. Now these are all really common symptoms during pregnancy, and they are to a degree quite normal. Well, some of them are anyway. And I can tell you from my experience, like leg cramps in pregnancy are just the most intense sort of cramps ever. Like I've had cramps before, but I swear in pregnancy they're so much worse. There's a bit of a link between the three of them, other than the fact that they all affect the legs, and that is that they're usually due to some sort of mineral deficiency. Now, in my experience, most people in general don't get many minerals in their diet. In pregnancy, your need for minerals is even more increased than usual. So I'd like to see generally you eating that minimal 5 serves of vegetables per day, because that is your regular goal when you aren't pregnant. When you're pregnant, you need to be hitting that every single day in order to be getting some minerals in there that you would be usually missing out on. Of course, it's really common and suggested to take a prenatal vitamin, which will have some of these minerals in there, but there are many reasons why you could be deficient and why you could be getting the symptoms that we're going to talk about today. So in pregnancy, the role of your supplements and just all of the food that you would usually be eating to protect yourself from anything is mostly to protect you, because when you are pregnant, the baby kind of takes the nutrients that you do have first. So if you actually aren't getting enough in your diet, then it will actually start pulling it from your body. So things like calcium and stuff like that will actually get leached from your body to be given to the baby, to give the baby the best chance of life that it can have. Which obviously, we want the baby to have the best life that it can, but at the same time we don't want it at the detriment of your health, because you need to be strong to be able to birth the baby, breastfeed the baby, and then live your life as well. If you're starting to have very strange cravings, things like wanting to eat ice or even detergent, laundry detergent is a really common one. If you're getting weird symptoms where you're not actually craving food, you're craving things that aren't actually food, that's definitely something we want to have a look at. And it is a real common symptom in pregnancy because it is commonly associated with iron deficiency. First of all, leg cramps. Now, most people associate leg cramps with magnesium deficiency, and definitely magnesium has a huge role here, and magnesium supplementation can be very helpful, but also calcium. Calcium and magnesium work together in order to get your muscle cells to work properly and communicate and that sort of thing. So it's a really good idea to make sure that not only are you topping up your magnesium stores, that you're also getting in some calcium as well. So a supplement might be a good way to go, but also just making sure that you're getting enough of calcium and magnesium in your diet. So calcium is really easy to get from things like red salmon, tinned red salmon with the bones, and sardines where you're actually having the bones. Almonds, broccoli, sesame seeds and tahini are a really great source as well. Dates, figs, chia seeds. These are all really good sources in your diet to get in some more calcium. And as far as magnesium is concerned, magnesium can come from a lot of similar sources. So almonds, kale, cacao even are all nice sources of magnesium. And the other thing to keep in mind if you are going to supplement, make sure, of course, that you talk to somebody about it, preferably a naturopath or a nutritional medicine practitioner rather than a pharmacist or a doctor. But if you are going to take a magnesium supplement, and because you are suffering from those leg cramps, I highly recommend that you consider one that has calcium in it as well, because the calcium and the magnesium, they do compete with one another, and they also work together really well. Because osteoporosis is so common in women, especially women who have had children, you want to make sure that you're getting in as much calcium as you possibly can as well. There will be a small amount of magnesium and calcium in your prenatal vitamin. Of course, it depends on the quality and the amount, but it's not going to be anywhere near as much as what your calcium magnesium supplements would have in them as well. Now, I like to take black moss celloids, which are a practitioner-only product, and I also like a couple of products from Bioceuticals that are really good for magnesium as well. But like I said, I think it's best that if you're going to take a supplement, make sure you get something that has been actually prescribed to you rather than just taking any old thing. Restless legs is so common in pregnancy, and often a lot of people associate it with magnesium deficiency, but I'm here to tell you that it's actually very rarely associated with magnesium deficiency. It's actually a really common sign of iron deficiency. Now, iron deficiency, very common in pregnancy. You know, just to give you an idea, I am somebody who tries to eat as healthy as I can. I had quite good storage levels of iron when I was in my first 6 weeks of pregnancy. However, when I got tested again about 6 months later, my iron storage levels were incredibly low, very low. And you know, despite what I was doing, you know, I'm someone who eats red meat and lots of green leafy vegetables, that sort of thing. Baby still needed more iron from me, so my iron levels were really low. I didn't get to the point that I had restless legs, however, but a lot of women do. And if you are getting restless legs, the first thing you want to do is go to your doctor and get your iron levels checked. Because if you have restless legs, for starters, it'll be interrupting your sleep, which may feel like, okay, that's the reason why I'm feeling so tired. But if your iron levels are low and that's causing the restless legs, you will be getting exhausted anyway. So it's a really good idea to get those iron levels checked. I say it's good every trimester to go to the doctor and get those things tested, because things can change so quickly within pregnancy and you don't know what the baby's going to need from you or not. The key thing with restless legs is iron deficiency. There's many reasons why it could happen. It could be that you're not getting enough in your diet. It could be that your baby just needs a lot of it. It could be that you have really poor absorption in your gut as well. So if you've got some gut symptoms going on, it's definitely worth getting those checked out as well. And again, talk to a naturopath, talk to a nutritional medicine practitioner. Don't just leave it. And please, for the love of God, do not take Ferrograd C. It is a terrible supplement. It will make you constipated. It won't be absorbed properly. It will give you black, tarry looking poos. Let me just say, from many pregnant women's experience that they've told me that have taken Ferrograd right the way through their pregnancy, when they've pooed in the middle of labour, it has been a disgusting black tarry poo, and they've felt really embarrassed by it. Not that I think that they should. The reality is, in labour you're probably going to poo yourself, but yeah, it's just, I just know for a fact that most women that I know have taken Ferrograd C during their pregnancy have pooed on the table, and when they have, it's been black and tarry and gross. So just keep that in mind. There are so many better supplements out there. I would definitely at least chat to the pharmacist there and make sure that you're getting a form of iron that is much better absorbed than Ferrograd C, but you should be aiming to spend between $15 and $20 on a 30 tablet supply rather than $9, which is about how much your Ferrograd C costs. As supplements go, those are not very expensive supplements, so it's really worth making sure you invest when you do buy an iron supplement. And if it does cost under $10, just question whether or not it's going to be a good source. So the last symptom that we're going to talk about on leg day is water retention. Now, water retention is a really common symptom in pregnancy. Some women will get it in their legs only. Some women will also get it in their hands. It usually happens in the ankles, and it's usually just in the final trimester of pregnancy. It can be a warning sign of eclampsia and preeclampsia, so obviously you should be talking to your doctor about it if you're getting it quite badly and it's painful and that sort of thing. You definitely want to speak to your doctor just in case and make sure that they're aware of what's going on, and they will be monitoring all of that sort of thing anyway. But to get a little bit of water retention, especially when it's in summer, it's pretty normal to get that. However, there's a lot of things that you can do to reduce the severity of it, and a lot of it is dietary wise. Like I said, definitely there's some minerals affected, so your electrolytes are really important here. You want a nice balance of potassium, chloride, magnesium and sodium, but just generally, I find that the best way to combat it is to just get in lots and lots of green leafy vegetables. Make sure you're drinking lots of water, and make sure you're getting lots of fresh vitamins and minerals. Bioflavonoids are also really helpful. Things like quercetin and rutin, really helpful. Vitamin C as well, just to help the lymphatic system, which is the system in your body that helps grab the liquid from the extremities and bring it back to the heart, just to get that moving. Other things that really help water retention are making sure that you give yourself a massage a few times a day and sort of massage back towards the heart to encourage that lymphatic drainage back towards the heart, because that's the way that it works. If you can get somebody else to do it, then power to you. My husband's a bit too busy to massage me every day, unfortunately, which sucks, but it would be nice if he could. Gentle to moderate exercise is really, really helpful too, because again, it helps get that lymphatic system to move a little bit better as well. So things like walking, swimming, even doing some yoga for about 20 minutes every single day. It's just a really nice, gentle and relaxing way to get things moving. You don't want to be overheating yourself, so if you are going to go for a walk, make sure it's early in the morning in summertime so that you don't overheat, because that's not going to make things very good either. Another great one to do is dry skin brushing, which is it's exactly what it sounds like. You get a brush that's specific for this, and by brushing it on your skin towards the heart, you help to stimulate that lymphatic system. So that's basically what all of this stuff is doing. It's all about encouraging the lymphatic system to do its job. Things you want to avoid for water retention are caffeine and sugar. They just make it worse. They make inflammation worse. They encourage the retaining of fluids. So managing your sugar intake, it can be quite difficult in pregnancy, but I highly recommend that you at least try to opt for whole food versions and even raw chocolate rather than your Cadbury chocolate and that sort of thing all the time. A little bit of dark chocolate here and there is okay. Eating lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, that sort of thing. So generally for all of these complaints, I think one of the best things that you can actually do, especially if you have your own juicer, it's the best way to do this, is to make yourself a green juice at home every day. And you want to include ingredients in your green juice, like something green leafy. Definitely want celery, including the top leaves. Like personally, I can't get enough of celery in a juice, but I do understand that it is quite bitter for some people. Definitely getting in things like cucumbers and zucchinis. Anything that's going to be mineral dense is really good, and a lot of vitamins as well, but something that's going to have a low amount of sugar. When you're making a juice, I highly recommend that you put no more than 1 to 2 small pieces of fruit, if it's 2. So that could be like an apple and 1/4 of a lime, or a lemon, something like that in there, or even something like 1/2 of a grapefruit with an orange or something like that, because it provides a little bit of sweetness. They of course will have vitamin C and other vitamins and bioflavonoids and that sort of thing in them as well, but you don't want to be having too much sugar in your juice. For starters, it's not good for your blood sugar. Secondly, you're, displacing the space that could be taken up by having more vegetables, which will have more minerals in them as well. So I highly recommend doing that. It's something that I love to do myself, and I drink them quite often. My recipes usually have 1 whole zucchini, 1 whole cucumber. I would say 4 to 6 stalks of celery, including the leaves. I put a big, huge handful of spinach in there as well. If I use the English spinach, I try to use as much of it as I can and just cut off the end root tips. And then I will put, usually 1/4 of a lemon and an apple in there or something like that. And a bit of turmeric really goes a long way too. Ginger is great as well. They're going to be really, really good for your lymphatic system. So just adding a green juice to your day on top of everything else is a really good way to just get that extra boost of minerals and vitamins, bioflavonoids, and all of the other phytochemicals. Now, I highly recommend, if you're going to do this, don't assume that it's going to cover you for your vegetable intake for the whole day. Just have it as an added extra bonus. Especially in pregnancy, you're going to have a higher requirement for those nutrients. You have to remember that. So I think that that's one of the easiest ways to improve your levels of nutrient intake. Well, that's it for leg day today. I hope you found that helpful. If there's anything else that you want to know about pregnancy and nutritional medicine or natural medicine, please let me know. I'd love to help you out. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, share it with a friend that might need it, and I will talk to you next time.